And Garrard McClendon's parents were killed in 2009 during a home invasion. He joins us next to share how he's honoring them through a new scholarship.
Former CLTV talk show host Garrard McClendon was working here in this newsroom when he learned that his parents, Milton and Ruby, had been killed during a home invasion. Now he and his family are keeping Milton and Ruby's love of education alive through a scholarship available to students in Indiana.
Garrard joins us now in the studio. Garrard, thanks for getting
Good morning.
It's good being here, and it's great to see you guys.
It's great to see you both, and I'm remembering, I mean, it seems like this happened not that long ago, but walk us through that day, being here at the station and hearing that devastating news.
It was tough. I mean, it raises my pulse. Right here, working on the show, before the show started, I got a phone call from my wife, and I'm a workaholic, so I'm like, you know, what do you want? And so I give the phone to my producer, Jerry Riles, and my wife tells Jerry Riles that the two people found in the forest preserve dead were your parents. At that point, you know, I'm just devastated. You know, I'm just in pieces at that point. I'm like, what is going on? This is sick. And I thank God for WGN because the newsroom knew, but you guys kept it quiet because you wanted it to be transmitted to my family and myself before it went on air. So I really appreciate that, but just a horrible day.
Within an hour, though, you made a point of forgiving. You didn't know who had done it, but you were so open about your forgiveness to who did this to your parents. Unbelievable.
We didn't find out who murdered my parents until the day of the funeral, a week later. It was a call from God. It was something. I don't even know to this day because I'm still angry. Yeah. But something just said, you got to forgive them. You know, you have to forgive the perpetrators. You know, there's a great saying, forgiveness is the fragrance the flower sheds on the heel that crushed it. And so that's where we are right now. We're trying to be that fragrance from that flower.
You've examined the deeper issues related to violence. And often on a show like this, we're talking about how many police officers do we have, what are our tactics, but those problems go deeper than that. Things like education. What do you see as a solution in that regard to the big picture? Number
one, homicide is universal. People think that people who get murdered, it come from certain background. Anyone can have a member of a family become murdered. My wife's brother was murdered in the 90s. This is sick. It's, you know, over 1,000 murders in Cook County this year. This is unbelievable what's happening. And when it comes to solutions, it's lip service most of the time. Politicians give lip service. Pastors give lip service. School corporations give lip service. No one wants to sit down and really look at how we can eradicate murder. Education is one way that we can do that.
Talk about your parents, married 54 years. I mean, I'm sure you miss them every day, but this scholarship, is it something, a little something you feel like you can do?
Yes. You know, when you hear my voice, you hear my mother's voice, you hear my father's voice every day. Milton and Ruby McClendon, beautiful people, father, Korean War veteran, postal worker. My mother worked for Illinois Bell as a receptionist, and oh man, just beautiful people who raised 3 sons, you know, to be educated, and they were amazing community organizers, and they spent 54 happy years together. There's a picture of their 50th wedding anniversary. You see them cutting the cake there, and to be murdered on the weekend of your 54th wedding anniversary. How cruel. You know, how cruel. 2 teenagers decide to create a ruse, say that they've got car trouble. My parents are loving people. They open the door. The rest is history.
And so for people who live in Northwest Indiana, they can apply to this scholarship, Garrard? How do they do that?
Yes, they can. They can go to McClendonFoundation.org. Our foundation is sponsored by our fiscal sponsor, Legacy Foundation, 2.5 GPA, students who want to go to Purdue, Ohio State, or Wabash College.
Garrard, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Anytime.